And hello, here we are, looking at Adriana's game today. We are commentating her game. Soon it should, our opponent should sit down and start the game. Hello to everyone. There he is. Okay. Let us see what he's going to answer. D4 knight f6 c4. Okay. We're just trying. Okay. So here we are. We have a normal opening. D4 knight f6 c4 e6. Knight 3 d5 knight c3 bishop e7. And our opponent, I'll tell you something about him. He's #1 seed in the tournaments, so he will be trying to play for a win, of course, with the black pieces. The ratings are slightly off, as ratings are slightly off as it is the Blitz ratings. Chess.com puts up. Actually, they both have 100 points more. So let us see if I can manage to see the chat. Just a moment. Hola, hello everyone. Now I can see your messages. And here we are. Okay, so we have a few moves. Knight f3, d5, knight c3. It's okay, this is very normal opening theory, I would say. Knight f3, this is slightly different than knight c3, as this allows an Nimzo Indian. So here you're trying to do what Adriana did, which is going back into a Queen's Gambit declined. Bishop g5. This is quite a normal place for the bishop to go. Castles e3, c6, and h3 by Adriana. h3, I don't know this move. It is a different move, as normally they probably go bishop d3. Just developing a piece. Maybe here knight e4 is already possible. Maybe Adriana had a very similar game here, actually. This is probably playable. So h3 black is thinking, I think. So let us see. Yeah, h3 is quite new. Bishop d3 or queen c2. Our main moves. H3. Interesting. So, yeah, the opponent is thinking. The most normal answer might be bishop f5, but then maybe we can consider g4. And I don't know, even bishop e4, take. This might be fine for black, giving away a bishop, but don't know. Something like that, trying to open a position. It's already an interesting position if he goes bishop f5, g4. And if you go bishop g6, then maybe knight e5. Let's see if I've played some games from here. Okay, no g4 has ever been played, and that's not the idea of h3. On bishop f5, the most played move is bishop d3. Take. With a game. Okay. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Sim, estão empenhados na casa.
Agora finisce.
Okay, sorry for that. Here we are. So, we also have a move by our opponent, knight e4. This is a logical move, of course. One you would look at. While I'm preparing this, I don't think Adriana is particularly surprised by this. So I think she will know what to do here after knight e4. She has quite a bit of experience in these exchanged Queen's Gambit declines. I remember we were preparing a line similar to this in Porto last year at the Maya Chess Open. So, okay, quite normal. Here you have to choose whether to take here or to take here. Taking here does not look very good. Even though maybe I'm wrong. Okay, this is possible. Actually, this is possible to take on e4, take. We leave him with this pawn, but we could just pretend we don't care. Against check, we have queen d2. So this is one choice. The other one is to take and go bishop d3. This is the more normal choice, maybe. And now black can do various things. He might be able to go bishop f5, knight d7, f6, f5, queen b4, even though it's met by queen c2 quite comfortably. Many options. Many options. So yeah, knight d4. I am a bit surprised that Adriana is thinking, honestly, because it would look like an answer you would contemplate, knight d4. I don't think she's mixed up her opening preparation. In fact, I will actually go and see in her database if she's ever done this opening in the past. So let me just do that a minute. Chess space database. I'll let you know if there are games she has played in the past with this line. No, there are not. So it's the first time she tries this over the board, or at least when she is online. Because of course this chess game will be recorded in the database. Okay, knight e4. What options do we have? We have usually one of the best answers is just go bishop f4. Go back and not let black exchange pieces, because white actually doesn't really want to exchange pieces, I believe. It makes black relieve a bit of a pressure. Now if you take, this would be a bit suspect, because I've got a bit more center control. So I'd still expect knight d7 and the game to go on. Otherwise, one option, as I was saying, is this, and this. Maybe now you can get away with bishop f5. This needs to be checked. Looks to me like you can. Maybe I can try something like that. Trying to punish this bishop f5 maneuver. But I don't know. Maybe even something like f5 is worth checking here. If you take, I just take, and or even take with a rook and have good pressure. I think I like black's position here. Actually, the computer does not agree. Okay, bishop h5 with a pin. So yeah, this is a moment where white needs to decide something, make a decision, and let us see what they choose. Let us see what they choose. Okay, so many options. What were we saying? Bishop takes c7 is one. And what has been done? Bishop f4. Yes, this is quite normal, I would say. Not exchanging pieces. Is it what the computer wanted? Computer slightly prefers takes bishop d3. Okay, but that's fine. Nothing too wrong with this. Okay. Yes, and a move black could consider here is queen a5, pinning, and against queen a5 maybe queen c2, but then bishop f5 can become annoying, even though bishop d3. White should be fine. This is one option for black. Another option could be again to develop with bishop f5, but maybe this is interesting. Oh, you can also do like this actually. So maybe this never works, this g4 idea. So let us see. Let me check the chat from YouTube. Here we are. So bishop f4. Okay, black is still thinking. We have a relatively original position here. So both players will take their time a bit in the opening. The time range is 19 plus 30, so 1 hour and a half plus 30 seconds per move. Everything's still pretty normal here. The only difference being that maybe white has not decided yet where they want to castle. You might castle wrong sometimes, even though an attack arrives quite quickly. So okay, we're waiting for the next move. Hi, strong player, go Adriana. I'm sure you're a strong player as well. And let's go Adriana, exactly, universal pizza world. Actually, you're talking to a big pizza fan, as I'm Italian. So universal pizza world it is. Where are you from, universal pizza world? knight e4 and bishop f4. Time wise, we are more or less level. Let me take away the arrows. There. So what other moves black could consider? He can consider a move like bishop f5 maybe. He can consider knight d7, just to bring another knight to f6. Can consider queen a5. Queen a5 seems logical to me. And actually on queen c2, you can even go bishop b4 with pressure. This is something I didn't show before. With a point being is on rook c1, there is even queen takes a2 with a pin. So this is not clear, queen a5, what you should do. Could even be that we just give up the pawn. Not sure. The fact that black is already castled. So you move your queen away just to get it back into the game. Where exactly is white's compensation? Maybe it's very... I don't think this is much of an option, bishop d3. So... you thought she played e4. Yeah, sometimes she does, but sometimes she also plays d4. I think she's she likes both. But I think that d4 is where she goes when she's playing stronger players. That is my impression. Wilksley, thank you for joining us today. So yeah. So here we are after queen a5, which looks logical. Who knows? What do you prefer in the chat also? Do you prefer d4 or e4? Let me know. Let me know. Queen a5. Let's see. Queen c2, bishop b4. Ah, you played against each other. Oh, I see, I see. Well, when did you play? Did you play in a standard game or did you play like a blitz game? Also, I'm not sure. It depends what your rating is, my friend. It depends what your rating is. Not finding an easy solution to this queen a5 bishop b4 idea, by the way. With a bishop outside. There is this possibility. Ah, okay. Last round of the autonomic Blitz tournament, I see. Well, Blitz is also different. You can play anything you want in Blitz without too much to worry about. So yeah, I see. And how did the game go, by the way? Did you manage to beat your favorite streamer or not? Maybe something like this. But it is a bit sad. You also played against her opponent. You mean her opponent in this game? This Sir Daniel Sansvauer, which I'm probably not pronouncing very well. Anyway, this can't be very good. Queen a4. Also the fact that yeah, I won. She didn't seem like she was in the right headspace for the game. Oh, I see. Well, it's always fun to beat your... I see, it's always fun to beat your favorite streamer. What's your rating, by the way? Guilxre. You seem like someone who can play quite well. You seem like you have a good level of chess, probably better than mine. So let's see. Bishop f4. I see, classical, well, it's good level. Classical 1900. I'm about 2100, but I lost 30 points in the semi-final of the Italian Championship. But I'm going to Prague in 2 days, leaving tonight, but going to Prague in 2 days to try and get my rating back. Then I will be playing in Porto. Of course, if you are by any chance playing any of these tournaments, come and say hello. So yeah, Bishop f4, Queen a5, maybe Queen b3, just because this leaves a2 safe. Right, Bishop b4, Rook c1, something like this. Bishop f5 with these ideas. Maybe just Bishop e2. Take, Bishop a3, just Rook d1. And we are holding on. See, I think that on Queen a5, we will need to go Queen b3. This is my final answer. You wish you could play that many tournaments, of course. Of course, it is good fun to be able to play many tournaments, I understand. But I'm quite young, I'm still 21, so I can manage to get all those tournaments into my schedule. But I realize that as, not sure what your age is, but if you have a job or if you have a family or any such thing, then you will have less time to play chess tournaments. I am still at the age where I'm not that busy, and I also love to play chess. So yeah, our opponent is thinking quite a lot, really. He is surprised. I don't know. Maybe he's thinking about these complications with Queen a5. So I think Queen b3 must be the best move. And now we could even try and play moves like c5 at some point. I don't know, c5. Problem is because we are behind in development, so we can't really take on d5. And also Bishop d3 is met by c4. So maybe we take, and on knight a6. Maybe we even take. Can even take here, of course. Maybe this is a good play. Maybe not. So I don't know. Take queen takes or I don't know if I, for example, if I take this pawn, I start activating black's pieces too much. So yeah, queen b3, c5 is where I am trying to understand what the plan is. There's also dc. You could go knight d7 without this knight a6, but let's say knight a6 takes. Queen takes. If I, at least here I can maybe try to take on d5, but there is a check. So okay, maybe bishop takes a6 is not that great. Maybe we just need to be humble. Bishop e2, knight c5. In c2, bishop f5. Not that easy. So yeah. Maybe on knight takes c3 we can just castle. This should be good actually. We get out of the way. So bishop takes a6, queen a6. Two. Say queen b5, queen f6, castle, something like this maybe. Take, if you want to take. White should be fine in this position. So right, I am showing many lines, but I don't actually know what is best. If not queen b3, what else do we have? We have rook c1 immediately. This is an option, but this leaves this choice open, which is probably not great for black, because you have your queen out of the game and we have some attack. But let us see. Yeah, but white is fine here. So maybe rook c1. Anyway, we finally have a move. Bishop e6. Okay, a move I did not consider. Or at least looks slightly strange maybe, just because bishop looked better on f5, but yeah. It is also just a normal developing move. Let us see the YouTube chat if we have anyone there. Let us see. Does not seem like there is anyone. If you are on YouTube, say hello. So bishop e6 after a 20-minute think, and we already have a move by Adriana, who is moving quickly, playing bishop d3. Okay. Feels like it is logical. I don't think knight takes e4 and knight d2 was very promising. After even, okay, g5 is, but after even a move like f5, and this is interesting, but maybe just bishop d5. So, okay, bishop d3 normal. Again, we can try queen a5 or bishop b4. Let us see. Adriana is up from the board, so quite confident. Always need to keep your confidence in check against these time players, but it's good. She feels good at the board. So I think that against queen a5, we just castle. Take, take, take. And just use the compensation of the time that black has lost. We could do this, like, for example, with rook b1. Say b5. On b5. Even this bishop c7 strange move, trying to trap the queen like this. I realize it is a strange move, and after queen a3 might not be the best. But even here, if we go rook b3, queen a5, bishop b1, and prepare queen d3, this looks good to my untrained eye. This looks quite promising. Let's see what... Yeah, this is fine. Oh, we have moves. f5. Right. Right, so this is what black had planned. Interesting. Interesting. I'm wondering whether we need to go h4 in this position. I am wondering. I think it could be a good idea. Just to stop black from expanding too much, because if we castle, I'm not saying now, but one day g5 could be an idea. Probably we first bring our pieces with black, and white's plan, of course, is always this minority attack, but black has various ways to take care of it. So f5, my feeling is that h4 should be what Adriana is thinking, to try and even go h5 and block. Understand that this h-pawn could become a weakness also, but I don't know, even h4, g3. Right, put yourself like this, and Against h6, maybe h5, I don't know. Because we have this e5 square we can use at a certain point, which is secured, so I'd first stop a bit of this play. Queen b3. Queen b3, interesting. I'm not sure it would be being my first choice, but it is also very sensible. b7 is of course under attack. Maybe even queen b6 by black, although this takes away black's dynamic potential on the king side, so it is a risky move, I would say. Queen b3 asking questions at least. The key to win a chess game is to ask questions. If you play b6 or something like that. Queen b6, okay. So it is true that if I take away your dynamic potential, but it's also true that you have an open a file. So let's see. Take. You want to go b5 and maybe b4 even. So what can I do with? I want to get this knight out of the way, maybe. But maybe I still have to go h4. Maybe a castle. Okay, not that easy actually. Knight e5, we have g5. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't take on b6 on second thoughts. Then the question is, do we let black take here? I'm not sure we do. So let's see. Oh no, sorry. Take. We need to find a way to get some play. So say I go h4, b5, also bishop b4 is a concern, because against rook c1 we have rook takes a2. So take. Say I go king e2, I'm not sure about. Say I castle. Although even this position is not super clear with the weaknesses, but maybe something like this. No, too much activity. It's okay. Queen b3, queen b6. We don't take. Do we let? Maybe we don't even let them take. We go queen c2. Don't let our opponent take. Or maybe, I'm not sure, it's very difficult to decide. Something like this. g5 is very ambitious, but just to give you an idea, and when we move the knight, there is knight d2. The line goes on a minute because the knight might be trapped, but it should manage to come out. So yeah, maybe I would just go queen c2 and continue with my business, which will be h4 or like h4, try to put the knight on e5 and then to push away this knight. Also, there is like a chess principle that when you go h3 or h6, this weakens the e4 square indirectly, because whenever you go f3 to move speeds to attack this knight, then you have when you go f3 to attack this knight, you have all your dark squares which are weaker than if you had pawn on h2, for example. So yeah, let us see. Let's also see what the computer wants. Yeah, computer wants queen c2 or h4. Okay, so we're not that far off. If we take on b6, yeah, h4, b5 we said, and it's not clear. Yes, okay, the best move looks as if it's queen c2, keeping the tension in the position, and then slowly just playing h4 as possible here instead, but it wasn't the best. I just wanted to castle and get on with business. Okay. So we are waiting for Adriana's answer. So yeah, here we are. Waiting for our opponent to move. So not for our opponent to move, for Adriana to play her move. Body language, they seem both quite concentrated. Time, Adriana is a bit ahead on time, but it doesn't make that much difference. So yeah, we are in for a interesting game for sure. So yeah, let me know what color you prefer in the chat if you were to choose white or black. Yeah, I don't see many options other than queen c2. But maybe she's thinking about queen b6. Say black plays a natural move, knight e7. Maybe we even go h4. Knight f6. Knight e5. Knight h5 maybe here. Bishop h2, bishop h4. Maybe h5 and h6. Something like that. Even though we already have... Oh no. Yeah, this could be not that bad. I don't know, very complex position anyway. Can also just castle here. And on g5. Do something like this, the queen is away, so it's not going to kill us on the king's side. h4 we can take. Or just go knight e5. Maybe something like this. e4 has been weakened also, so this should be good. So g4 makes not much sense. Other position is just good for white, maybe. So g5 is too early. I don't know, some preparing move, okay, e8. Position not clear. But I think that Adriana, if she plays queen c2 and just plays more or less normal castles and all that, should be in decent shape. Shouldn't be too worried about black's attempts. So as Adriana makes this decision, I'll be taking a short break and I'll be joining you soon. And we are back. Queen c2. One important move played by Adriana. This is important because you have a few critical moments in a game, maybe 3, 4, 5, and if you get them all right, you have a very good chance of winning the game, no matter against who you are playing. So yeah, knight d7 by black is a normal move. Now we have to decide whether to play h4 or not. My feeling was that at the end, castle short is just the most solid option, and we can ignore this attack of g5 because the queen is out of the way. Say the queen tries to come back, it's at least 3 moves you need to invest, and we can probably just plant a knight on e5 to start it. And even here, if we like, the queen is not going to come in, because if we do like, go to e8, we go bishop e2, and can even think about doing something like this and try to play e4, exploding the center. We should be in quite good shape anyway. Queen c2, knight d7, and white has moved. Let us see, castle short, very good. Yeah. Black could also go c5, but we can even just take against c5 and play against this one. So yeah, not that much of an easy choice here actually for black. Might just play a waiting move like h6. Maybe put your king on h7 and go g5. Just because king on h7 is maybe better than king on h8. I don't know. I expect black to think a bit here because it is not obvious what you should do. Opening phase has been played quite well, I think, by Adriana. You have a complex position on the board, but black is not worse in this sort of structure of which reminds us of a Dutch or of a stone wall. Also, worst case scenario, white has a plan of going some rook to b1 and b4, b5 sooner or later. Rook f6 is an option. f6, g6, but with this queen out of play, it's not really dangerous. Let us see what the engine says. Yeah, position is quite good. Best move is actually queen d8 to get the queen back into the game. Here we are. Let's see what black comes up with. Let us check the Twitch chat, the YouTube chat. I wanted to say. There we are. So you have for now. Well, it's in a quite good spot. We both have 1 hour. So expect the game to heat up in the next half an hour, maybe 1 hour. People will have less time. And the game will start to heat up. As you can see, both players are on 2 out of 2. So this is a very important game for the standings. So yeah, maybe something like Queen D8. Can even do Bishop H2 preemptively, I don't know. Some sort of prophylactic move. Not sure it's worth it, but it's an idea. Otherwise, Rook B1. And B4, B5. Just explain something. The point of this plan is that when I arrive with B4, B5, either you take and you have an isolated pawn and a weakness on B7, or you let me take, and if you take with a pawn, this is an weakened pawn, a backward pawn on an open file, and if you take with a piece, for example, then this is still an isolated pawn. And if against this sort of action you play this, then I can take, and this is an isolated pawn. If instead you go B5, this is still a backward pawn again. So there are many options. Doesn't mean that black loses against this plan, but we have to be careful. We also have to find a plan for Mrs. Rook. A E8. Yeah, this is a move which just gets the last piece into the game. So what do we do here with white in Adriana's shoes? What do we do in Adriana's shoes? I don't know. But we are not particularly worried. Maybe I'll go Rook B1. Maybe we'll consider this Bishop H2 idea. Also Knight E5. This seems reasonable. If you go F4, there is this hanging. You go Knight F6, I'll go even Knight E2 and then F3. And I don't exchange any knights. And if you do something like this and make the position into a position where we only have bishops, I still have open file and C4 idea. Bit easier to play maybe with white. 95 is for sure an option. Bishop H2 I don't mind, just sort of playing a bit prophylactically, getting the bishop out of the way. Rook B1. I don't mind the ideas of B4. a5, a3, say. I think black will go with g5 at a certain point. But it isn't the end of the world. We just go bishop h2 again. Maybe now you can take on c3. Even here pawn takes. Okay, a3 is weak, but we'll just go a4. Also here there's b7 hanging. Queen needs to go to a7, but then it's terrible. Even a4. Queen is out of play. So I quite like black rook a e8 seems logical, but I'm not sure how good it is. Okay, not bad. Too bad for black. So knight e5. Okay, is an option. Okay, white has moved and has gone knight e5. This looked logical to me. And best move again is queen d8, and this might just be played because the queen needs to be brought back into the game. But now again knight e2 I think, and then f3. Let's see. Adriana playing well for now. Very well. What was the best move? Knight e2 immediately. Bishop h2 is also an interesting move. So okay, knight e5 though is very fine. Seems like white is not risking much. So yeah, seems like a very good outcome for the opening. Whenever black goes g5, we go bishop h2, and he's weak in this position. So yeah, we have a normal position, but maybe white is slightly preferable. I would play bishop h2 at a certain point, maybe, just to get out of these g5s. Black could just take. But here at least we're not risking much. Bishop f6, maybe just bishop h2 even. I'm not sure I want to exchange. I might. There's also this option, trying to close everything. And then just taking on e4. And more or less killing the game. Even just taking with a knight, sorry. Maybe here you have knight g3. Even says white is a bit better here. But also just bishop h2, avoiding an exchange. It's not easy for black to generate play. But black will just stay maybe a bit still and be very patient, like a strong experienced player is usually quite patient. So yeah, we have to see what opponent wants to do. Adriana is up from the board, and this is normally a good sign. I can't really understand much from the body language of our opponent, but he seems normal. Not overly excited, but not even too worried. Interesting game, this one. Anyone in the chat that ever plays these stone walls with black? Just out of curiosity. So yeah, let's say black plays queen d8 to get the queen back in the game. Probably this 92 idea is interesting. Preparing f3 sometimes. Rook e8 is a bit strange because it takes away the square. I feel like black will have to take sooner or later, though, on e5. So you go g5, bishop h2 is, as the other lines we saw, this is not a big problem. I don't know. So yeah. Even f4. But which side do we take with them? F, I guess. And then try to take here. Ultimate. Maybe this is not that comfortable. Maybe bishop h2, because it was better when we could take on e4 with a knight in certain positions. Now otherwise we just play this position where f3 is probably going to come. Say black goes bishop f7, we go f3, and f5 is hanging, even though even e3 is hanging. So okay, maybe we are slightly misplaying the position then. So we said bishop h2, bishop f7. Does we think this doesn't make much sense, weakening e3? Probably right, maybe f4 then. And take. I don't know. Yeah, actually this is fine. Knight g3, h5, f6. This is an important detail. So yeah, maybe something like this. Looks decent. Black is thinking because it is not easy to create much play. So yeah, white has got black where she wanted him, I think. So yeah, let's see what happens. Adriana sitting down quite calmly. For now, she has played quite logically, I would say. Also slightly up on time, so interesting fight coming up. Of course, the first few hours are slower. Take more time to do little subtleties and so on and so forth. The real stuff comes in about half an hour where both don't have much time and need to make quick decisions. That's where you will see who will win the game, I imagine. Okay, someone is sitting in front of a board. There he is. She is. You see it is board 15 on the table, but it's actually actually one of the most important boards because they're both on 2 out of 2, so whoever wins this will come out better, of course. Will take the lead. Okay, queen d8. Queen d8. Getting the queen back into the game. Now we need to decide what to do with white. We can go knight e2. Could even go f3 maybe. Take. Probably have some reason to be happy even here with white. No, I don't, because there's bishop takes d4. Okay, fair enough. But you have a reason to be happy here with white if you just don't blunder, so that's good. Queen d8. Adriana to move. Of course, against f3 you'd want to move away, probably to d6, as this is usually the best square for the knight in these structures. And maybe f3 is not that useful. One option is to go rook b1. This looks interesting. Another option is to go knight e2. As we said, another option is still to go bishop h2, avoiding being hit with tempo. Also curious to know how much time Adriana is going to take on her next move, as we are still on move 14. So the game will be long. Also, this was an interesting game because after move 8, I believe that both players were out of theory already. So they had to play on their own. Like some games, you play 20 moves and you're still in opening theory, so it is a good change. So the last move was this queen d8, of course, and we are waiting for what to play. 92, rook b1, bishop h2. There are many interesting moves. a3, of course, b4. So maybe, I don't know, rook b1. Could be you go a5 here, just trying to stop me. a3, and even this b5. b6, c4, maybe if possible. I don't know, you can even try and do these sort of things though. That's what I mean, maybe 92 here. Oh no, this is hanging, what am I saying? So okay, this is not the best way to counter. Maybe you just need to take e5 as usual. Don't know, something like this. 94 c5. Black's position is nothing special. So yeah. Maybe before doing any of this, I would still go bishop h2. Get out of the way. Even though bishop h2, actually maybe you take on e5 and I've lost the tempo. So if g5 is not that big of a threat, I'll just go rook b1. And black needs to find some counterplay. Say something like this. There's always this knight e2 f3 now that you've done this. And we keep four minor pieces of the board. So yeah, many options. Let's see what Adriana goes with. I'll be back in 1 second. Here we are. Adriana still thinking. Not easy to find the right move in all these options. Also, I think as long as she chooses a plan, this b4, b5 or knight e2 and maybe f3. There's also another question. Let's say I go rook b1. Can take on e5, but let's say you don't take on e5, you go knight f6. I go b4. You take knight e4. How is this position? Or this sort of position? So I go queen c2. Maybe I've helped black here. So that's why we want to go knight e2 at a certain point when we cannot take with a pawn anymore. Right? Here we go knight e2. But knight is also not where it wants to be exactly. Anyway, knight e5, queen d8, knight a4, chosen by Adriana. I was about to say this, that it makes relative sense to do this instead of knight e2, put the knight on a4. Looks a bit strange, I don't know. So you take on e5. Say something like this. Is the knight on a4 a problem? A bit, because I mean you're not going somewhere, but this structure could be fine even. Knight e4, interesting try. Knight a4, interesting try. Might go g5. Maybe no, maybe just take bishop d6. f4, something like this. And play this position somehow. Queen g5. Don't know. Queen e2. Or something. Or queen e2, knight g3, come on. Rook f3, something like that. But then, when taking here is a bit of a problem. Maybe rook f4. And then we can take and go to c5 or just double. We've got what looks like a decent position. Knight e4, so yeah. More or less approved. Yeah, he wants g5 a computer. Bishop h2, knight takes c5. Take bishop d6. After f4, white is still slightly poor choice. Let us see what people are saying on YouTube. Hello, Chess Mages, if you're still there. How is Adriana doing in the tournament? She is doing quite well. She is on 2 out of 2. So she is on full points. And it all depends how this game goes. She is playing against 2300 player, 2360. Because actually, this rating here is the Blitz rating of the two players, but they're playing classical. Also, Adriana, as you might know, has 100 extra points. So she's doing very well for now. 2 out of 2. Nothing you can really be unhappy about. So yeah, all depends what happens today. And we are getting towards the more exciting moments where we have more action going on. As they are both on about 40 minutes, they will have to start moving more quickly. So Black is thinking, their options are g5, knight takes c5, knight f6, many options, knight d6 maybe, but even though it's a move going backward not provoked. So I think the best line is probably this one. Take, and bishop d6. Well, white looks still quite safe though, so interesting move, knight a4. And it gets Black to think. Adriana trying to stay a bit higher up on the clock, also up from the board, walking around, quite confident. Also, players today will be playing 2 games, I believe. So it's always quite tiring to play 2 games in one day. You need to use your energy well. So yeah, let us see what happens. Adriana still up from the board. I notice she gets up quite often actually. Probably needs to walk around. These games, you know, are quite long, 3 or 4 hours. So it's natural you need to walk around a bit. But her opponent, as you see, is much more at the board, getting up more early. Also, the opponent being the first one in the table is under pressure to win all games. Second board, white won, by the way. Very quickly. Just curious to see what happened here. Whoa. Black already resigned. Because on bishop c1 there is 96. Is that why? In b6. Okay, I'm not sure I agree with resigning immediately. Anyway, let's get back to Adriana's game. We have a move, in fact, knight takes c5. He seems quite logical to take back with a bishop, I think. Strange that Adriana... Yes, she has taken with a bishop. And do we have any more moves? I don't think we do. So yeah, bishop d6, as we were saying, and now probably f4 is best. Maybe take. This knight on a4 is a bit strange, but maybe the knight c5 can arrive. So okay, Adriana to decide from here. Not sure we want to take, just because we are helping black a bit. Trades in chess are quite an important part. We could go knight c5 though. Take the queen. And maybe even white is slightly better here, I don't know. No, he's not. As the computer points out, so no, bishop d6. Oh, because also you can take a knight, as pointed out. Let's go f4 here. Position is more or less equal after f4. The knight might have to come back. But otherwise it's quite a normal position. So let's see if, for example, here's another critical moment. First critical moment was here, in my opinion, and Adriana responded well. Second critical moment is here. And if she responds well to this one and plays f4, she's probably making her chances better of winning the game. What's my rating? My rating is 2100 FIDE. More or less. I played one tournament a week ago and I lost 30 points, but my rating is always hovering around 2100. What's your rating, G1975, if I may ask? Also, if you want to come and follow me on my channel, which is Chess is Simple on Twitch, and I'll be happy. What's nice, around the same as Adriana, exactly. Yeah. Well, 1300. It's quite good. You're probably better than 90% of players on chess.com, I would expect, with that rating. So, nothing to be ashamed of at all. So, yeah. Also, many viewers might not be 1300 yet. So yeah, it is good. Second critical moment, I would say. f4 needs to be played. Or an alternative is knight c3, actually, but it's not very human. And this position is playable, but I hope Adriana does not take on d6. Also, taking here and putting a knight on e5 would be ideal. Problem is the knight is very, very far away from e5. We'd have to do something like this. But this takes too much time, I would say. Also, sorry, the best move is knight takes. Knight c5, maybe this is fine. Maybe it's not that bad to take, I don't know. Maybe this arrives with some play. Actually, this is a problem. So like, Black is doing his own minority attack this time. If we take, this is a weakness. And if we don't take, this is a weakness. So we can't let Black do this. So we probably have to go something like Rook e1, f4. But the life is not great. So yeah, probably it's because of this knight takes and interesting f4 business. Okay. Adriana played a move, which is bishop takes d6. Okay. Okay. Second critical moment, maybe not that well. done, but okay, also black has to play knight takes d6. And he doesn't, he plays queen takes d6 quickly. Black is still okay though. Maybe knight c3 or knight c5, I don't know. Maybe Adriana had already thought about the move here. Black has managed to solve his problems a bit. Yeah, Adriana is going to move quite quickly, I think. Because I see her about to move her hand. I was thinking about this knight c5 possibility. Take, trying to simplify, but actually here after a5 might not be that simple to create the chain as a3. Unclear endgame. So Adriana has not moved. She has refrained from moving quickly, which is probably a good idea. Maybe knight c3 here simply. But this a bit defeat a bit because we wasted time with this knight a4 idea. Maybe rook b1 till b4. This looks pretty sensible. Can maybe try to go f4. Oh no, sorry, bishop f5. This is interesting. Knight c3, she goes back. Okay, so at least she admits knight a4 might not have been the best. It's important to admit your mistakes in chess and in life. And now she's done this, she's sort of fine. Interesting choice. Two hours into the game. Okay, maybe this is a good minute for me to take a short break. And I will be with you very soon. Okay, and we are back. And we are back. Black has played Queen e7. So, what to say about this move? Uh, just a normal move. Not doing much. I think I would go rook b1 here. Yeah, I would go rook b1. I guess there's always this question whether we want to take this knight and play this knight versus bishop position. Not easy to say. If we were able to exchange the rooks, then probably we would be happy. F3 I don't like because it weakens this a bit. Knight e2 is an improving move. I will go simple and go rook b1. And we will see what black does. Maybe we'll go rook f6. Try to lift the rook. We try. Okay, also there is this f4 idea to keep in mind, but this looks like a free pawn for a moment, so yeah, maybe something like rook f6. b4, say. Rook g6. b5, I don't know. No, rook g6, okay, now we go knight e2. And try to control, also because maybe there is bishop f4, bishop h3 in the air. Don't want this, so maybe here black goes bishop f7 instead. But here we can go b5, and we probably should. c5. Interesting way to play. But we could just take, and take in this case. And if you take, you have this. So this doesn't work. So take, you have to take here with a knight. But now we do our best in this isolated pawn position. It's not clear. It's not clear, but yeah, we've lost the pawn and we're risking a lot, so maybe not, because we're not really scared of knight d3. Maybe we go something like knight e2. Take, and now just block. Yeah, feels right. So probably knight e2 already played, fair enough. Queen h4 by black. Yeah, it is a bit of a pity that the knight had to do all this. But too bad. Now I expect g5 by black, honestly. I know, no, queen h4, black, white to move. Maybe b4. Then would be this knight f4 idea. Followed by g3, but I don't think we want to weaken ourselves. Yeah, honestly, I feel like b4 should be played. Knight is good on e2, where it is. half an hour each, the game is definitely going to heat up. We are on move 20. So we do expect to see time trouble, of course. Hopefully Adriana can avoid time trouble or play this phase better than her opponent. For now she's played a very decent game, I would say. Position is more or less level, but white is solid, we don't have many pieces on the board. And white has this b4 plan. So what happens if we go b4 now? Does black go g5? Not a problem at g4 because now we go around f4 and we've blocked the position. Say b5. Take rook c8. Queen b3. Knight d2. Careful. You must be careful. Maybe no b5 immediately. What do you say? Take rook c8. Maybe here we go queen b2. f4. This is one plan. f4, f3. What do we do against f4? Do we go f3? Say this sacrifice doesn't scare us much. Although it could. Knight c1, something like that. And the queen defends. But still, maybe bishop h3 we just take on e4. That's just the best way to play, so okay. Queen b2, f4, f3. Knight g3 going forwards. And we maybe take on f4. H3 again needs to be checked. Oh no, we can't. Oh, knight f1. So okay, knight g3 we take. And we probably are not that happy actually because there's h3 hanging. Bishop is stupid, so no, let's not go b5. Anyway, we got a bit carried away because white went knight f4. This is fair. I expect bishop f7 followed by g5 and maybe a bishop on h5. Bishop d7 also possible. I don't expect white to take black to take too much time on this decision. I wasn't super sure about knight f4 just because it runs into g5 sometimes. Same idea of a certain bring a bishop h2. But if we didn't go knight f4, we were considering this b4 g5. Okay, b5 does not seem to be the move, but yeah, and if b5 is not moved, it's a bit of a problem. Maybe rook b1. f4 is not is possible, and this was actually quite annoying. So maybe it's not the best strategy to go to for this b4, b5. Yeah, knight to4, g5 immediately. Yeah, this is an option. Now we probably want to take on e6. Rook takes. And this knight is too good, I guess. So we might have to take this one as well. But here, even fe4. The black rooks are more active, so I'm not sure about knight f4. Yeah. This might have got us into a slight trouble. H4, okay, b4 was the move. g5. And we have to go f4 ourselves, but even b5 is okay. cb, bishop takes. Or cb, not bishop takes. Rook c8 and okay, queen b2. f4, f3. Okay, we got some things right. Knight g3, queen g3. And here we can simply take and go rook e1 and on bishop h3. We have a bit of activity. Okay, not easy. g5, good move. And now actually bishop takes c4 is the best. Now you play a position like this, but this does not look fun, honestly. This looks like it is absolutely no fun. Knight takes e6, played rook takes. Yeah, now the position is easier to play with black. It is okay, bishop takes c4 played pretty quickly, but probably need to get rid of this knight, and now black is full of options. I'm actually curious to see what the 2400 player plays here. Practically 2400, 2370. I think this can be an instructive moment to know. So all captures make some sense. Even this capture. The fact that f4 is arriving, this endgame is not that easy maybe. Even though after rook e1 we should be fine. It's all to be seen whether we are fine. So yeah, even something like this rook endgame is not the easiest to defend. This rook is active and there are these ideas. What does the computer say about this endgame? Just the evaluation. Black is in fact slightly better. This is one option. A more aggressive option could be to be taking with the f pawn. You could also take with the rook. The same idea, f4 to be played in the middle game. Even fe. This is what I might play, I guess. Even though Even this option, honestly, this f4 idea is easy to play for black and no risk. But maybe it is helpful. And my rooks are more active. I can try doing something like this, and not at all easy for white to play. Maybe we go queen e2, queen g4. Okay, rook takes c4, I see. Keeping the square and going for f4. This is the choice. Interesting choice, honestly. Queen e2 here. h5. Okay, queen e2 only move to not be worse. Was interesting. Rook takes c4, the best move. Closely followed actually, but this queen takes c4. Going to the end of the game. Rook takes c4, same idea. In the middle game, f4 is always annoying. Rook a e1. Okay, we are playing quickly with white, but I'm not sure. Okay, this seems like a logical move, so we won't criticize it. What does black do? Does black go rook f6 maybe? Maybe you want to go f3. Maybe that's the point. Rook e7 maybe. Maybe you're getting out of trouble here. Here you are getting out of trouble. So rook f6 is not the best move, probably. Maybe f4 immediately. Take. Take, take, take. Rook e7 though. And here you are active. Okay, in an endgame like that, you shouldn't really lose. So too early probably for f4. Maybe rook e8 here. Well, this seems like one of the most logical moves in the position. Just rook e8 and with this pawn break. Also g4 is a move. Take, for example, and if you don't find an idea here, you are done for. For example, f3, g3. Sacrificing the rook for mate. So take. King is weak. Even g3 is sometimes a plan, but this is... This g4 move looks like a problem actually for black. You start maybe f3. Maybe f3. Take rook takes is more or less fine for... So okay, g4, f3 I imagine must be the answer. If you just move away, I take. So now g4, I expect just a simple rook e8, piling up a bit of pressure. But we will see. I wouldn't be that comfortable with in Adriana's shoes, but okay, at least maybe we have to react to black's plans, so we don't have to think that much. I don't know. So how did we get here? Queen d8. This knight a4 might have been a bit strange. Yeah, with these taking on d6 business. And knight f4, yeah. So yeah, that's more or less how we got here. And okay, but no, not everything is lost, as white has a relatively passive position but can hold, and white might be trying to go f3 if a chance is given. I strongly suggest so. I meant suspect so. So yeah, maybe rook e8 is the best move here. Seems like it's the best move to me. Preparing f4 and stopping f3 as this pawn is hanging. Even though there is d4 though here, right? Let's check. Sorry for that. No, but here white's doing fine. So actually f3 is still possible. Gate f3, rook e3, rook e3, queen f5. King h8 maybe. Even here, I mean, it's not clear. Yeah, so rook e6 going back and stopping this f3 idea and preparing rook h6 or g4. Maybe now the threat is g4. Actually quite an interesting move, this one. Let's see if it was the best. No, the best was g4 because f3 could take. Ah, this is the rook hanging. Oh no. Oh well, this looks very bad. Okay, g4 was a problem. e6. And now we probably need to go f3. Trying to stop this g4 idea. Yeah, you're right, Lodge Cooper. e1 hanging. That's unfortunate. So players have been playing for about 2.5 hours, and the time pressure is starting to arrive. Start hearing first signals of time pressure. Adriana not in a very comfortable position, as black has all the plans, all the ways to try and break down the position, and white has to just defend. So maybe even rook e1 was not best. Yeah, actually this is a bit of a mistake. Well, it looks like the most logical move, so it's fine. 6 f3, but it's not easy to play a move like f3. Even though you realize that g4 is coming and killing you. If you go and move at a4 and g4. Not clear what your answer is. Maybe this is your answer. Maybe it's not your answer. I would think for rook h6. So g4 is a problem, simply. Even take, you can go rook h6. Maybe not worth it. Just take. Threat is there. And it's not at all easy. Not at all easy. So yeah, we need to stop this g4. f3 played, very good job. And queen h6 by black. Mysterious move. Maybe g4 to hit e3 now. What happens if I go f4? If I go f4, I just permanently weaken myself. That's what happens. King f2, I don't know. Difficult to play. Difficult to play. Queen h6, alright. g4 might be a threat, even though it's also what we do with white. Let's see, we go b4. Try and do something ourselves. g4, I take. Rook e3, I take. Take, queen f2. Take, take. Take. Take, take, take. Even this endgame is not clear. Even this endgame is not clear. 4 against 3. This 4 against 3 is cleaner. I would avoid going here with white if possible. So no b4. Maybe some queen d3. Just trying to keep the position together for a moment. Rook e8. And we just need to suffer, I'm afraid. I don't see many good options. Okay, say I'll go queen f2, same idea, keep the position together. Still, rook e8. Unless I try e4. This is another way of seeing things. King f1. In g6, something like that. Key 2. Maybe you are fine here. Anyway, choice was queen d3, yeah, okay. Trying to keep the position together. Maybe rook e8. Adriana is fighting back quite hard. So that is a good thing. Opponent might not play the best moves if we keep fighting back, or he might miss time or misplay his break. I expect rook e8. I expect rook e8. And I might just go king f2 against rook e8, I'm not sure. Oh, no. If you go rook e8, I will take f5, sorry. So I don't expect rook e8. What about this f4 move? There's e4 probably. Take. Queen g6. Maybe we have some activity, I don't know. Queen g6, okay, by black. Probably looking at improving the queen slightly. Preparing rook e8. Good job by black of not doing much and just passing the ball to white. For white to make a mistake maybe, or spend time on their moves. I like black's strategy, also like how white has played so far. They haven't crumbled, but the game is wrong. Game is wrong, and it's clear that black is for choice. So yeah, we will soon find out what happened. Let's look at a few lines maybe. Let's say I go... I don't know what to do with white. Let's say I go rook e2 or something. Are you going to play rook e8? Are you going to play h5 maybe? Yeah. Should I go g4? Maybe this is an idea, g4. Looks not that bad actually, because if you go f4, I can take... Could take with the pawn. Trying to create a target. But even here, takes. Maybe you can try and get a draw here. 4, 6, hg. Take. Key 7. Yeah. Here we are managing. Seems. Maybe g4 had to be played. Queen a3. Okay, trying to attack a7. Problem is, are you worried about a7 with black in this position? I'm not sure. Happens if we go g4. Say hg, take, 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 take. Maybe we're fine here. Maybe here. Okay, I don't expect black to. Maybe black just defends it and continues with his plan. Maybe black goes f4. Let's say queen a7. I take on e3. You take on b7. At least not clear. So okay, maybe you need to defend this. So maybe it's a clever move, just provoking. a6 maybe. Queen b3. And now defending from here. Probably this is best. f7 or e7, or just trying to defend on the second rank. So that's what I expect. a6. As even if you could try and give up that pawn, you need to be concrete and white gets some chances. I would just keep the position stable and slowly improve the position with h5, and black has many improving moves. Was g4 playable here, I'm wondering. Could even go h5. Maybe you just weakened yourself. Okay, black to move. Black played a6. Pawns don't move backwards, g. You're probably right about that, exactly. It's just that you want to try and do something with white, not just wait passively. It's always difficult. The right moment to activate. Yeah. It is a bumpy road ahead for white, because we just have to wait for black to break through. Black could even go h5, h4 and then g4. He can put his rooks and queen however they want and slowly improve the position. What do you think favors Adriana? Pardon me. The fact that black pushed a6. What do you think favors Adriana? Didn't understand. The a6 move. Yeah, maybe. Although, even when I attack this one, say I go queen b3, you just go rook f7 or something and you're defending it with your pieces, and the chain is all good. So yeah. Not easy. Let's see what Adriana plays. She can't even think too much here because she will need time for when the position opens up. So if she gets too low on time when that happens, she might miss some important chances. This is not a particularly critical moment, I believe. You just need to play some move, like queen b3, queen d3. I think, at least. Oh, okay. We have a moment here. e4. This is a very important moment now because white has decided to lash out. Oh, interesting tactical resource. Fe, Fe. There is f8 under attack. Oh. Oh, it's using a pin. Whoa, this might be very, very smart if it works. Take, there's this problem. Okay, this could be a game-changing moment. e4. Queen a3 was very smart, actually. What a resource. Queen a3, e4. Okay, say you go rook e8. I could take even an f5. But I just go e5 maybe, and I've solved part of my problems here. Beautiful. e4. Okay, here the game changes. Here we need to be precise. Take. Can't take here because there's rook takes and okay, this is mate. Oof. Very nice resource. And I feel like what a move. I feel like our opponent is a bit not happy with this. Not happy. I mean, unless there is some way you punish this. Because let's say take. Rook is hanging now. Say rook f6, but oh, okay, maybe rook f6, maybe. Point being rook takes f6, queen takes f6. Okay, so maybe this is what we have to go for. Okay, black went d4. Curious. What was problem with this? Take. Maybe this was a problem, simply it's not really getting you anywhere. So okay, let's see. D, Fe. No, sorry, D, Fe and F4. Okay. Fair enough, but I feel like white is in the game. Or should be, at least. That being said, what do we play? We need to defend e4. say we go queen b3 maybe. Rook f7. Maybe even just, yeah, no, rook f7. Fair. Maybe d5. d4. Take. Queen takes, not great. Maybe something like this. So maybe e5 needs to be played anyway. There's still this backwards pawn. Hello? g3 maybe. Still using the pin. Problem is you might be able to go rook e4. Take, take. Even though I'm not forced to take, I can also go queen b3 maybe. This rook f7. Hello? hx ncus. So yeah, g3 maybe you take, take, take. And I don't see a move for white here. We're down a pawn and king is weak. Maybe queen f3. Just trying to keep a position solid, but rook e8 arrives. So, what about d5? Take. Queen d3, nah. This is useless. Take on c6, queen takes. We are just down a pawn, so maybe queen c5. Attacking this. Don't know. Might just have to go e5 and accept our destiny. Maybe h5. Maybe king somewhere. But I think e5 we'll have to play now. Oh no. Or later. How is this endgame? This is one sort of exit, but we can take here. And be a pawn up. So no, d5 is never possible. Queen b3 we were looking at, yes, would hit the pawn and pin the rook. And probably rook f7 is the answer. And queen b3 might be worth putting in. But at a certain point I'm afraid we might just have to go e5. Not sure when. Although we have a passed pawn though. Maybe this is not that bad. If it were at our turn again and we could push d5, that would be wonderful. Like say you go h6, I go d5, take, take. I think I'm doing very well with white, with this activity. Apparently not particularly well. More or less equal, but still. Okay, now we are entering into this heavy pieces position, and queen b3, your suggestion has been played. And I more or less expect rook f7. d5, take, 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 or something is not fine. So yeah, queen b3. Black is still slightly for choice, but I feel like changing the position like this has helped Adriana, I mean with e4. You might have found out later if it is good or not. I haven't checked it with the engine. Okay, queen b3, rook f7 played. F7 played, and what do we do? Well, looks like a draw. I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure, and I'll try to explain why. There's this e4 weakness, and sometimes you have play with black. Black does not have weaknesses. I don't feel like it is most likely to end in a draw, frankly. Because now, when we have to push e5, for example, let's say you go queen b f3, rook e7, this pawn you can't defend the third time, so you have to push e5 at a certain point. Now there is this pawn which is weak. So slowly you can try and attack this weakness, and it is not super pleasant. Together with, maybe you manage, maybe you just put yourself like this and there's nothing to worry about, but I don't really feel like it's most likely to end in a draw. Say something like this. I mean, even here, I don't know. If c5 arrives, I break you up. Hello to everyone. We have 2,000 viewers, incredible. Let's go War Pizzero. Let's go War Pizzero. So, okay. We are here in a quite tense situation for black. For white, sorry, as... yeah. Go 1 versus 1. I lose. Against who you mean? Who's your 1 versus 1 enemy? Yeah, I think that if I played 1 versus 1 against me, you want to challenge me to a 1 versus 1. I see. Maybe finish this game. When this game is finished, I might pick up some of your challenges if you want. Come and follow me also on my channel, Chess is Simple. There we will be doing, some days we do playing the fans, or Elo Gamblers also. Elo Gamblers is a group of 3 Italian people we do a bit of streaming in Italian, a bit of streaming in English, and we often play the fans. It's alright. Adriana is thinking, and who knows? Who knows what she's thinking, if she feels good or not that good. But I am happy about this moment, e4. I believe it was the best move, and it was a very good find. Time is getting low, yes. Time is getting low. I might just go e5. Or I might wait to go e5, I don't know. No, I might just go e5 and get it done with. And then rook d7 is possible. h5 is possible. But maybe h5, d5. Not sure I want to allow this d5. So go rook d7. Can go rook d1. Queen e4, I hang my rook. Might have to get my king out of the way. And still d5 actually. This looks fine. Maybe not so fine, but this looks fine. So maybe just e5 and try and get d5 in. h5 is not a very good move. e5 played. If we get d5 in, we're fine. Might have to get our king out of the way now. d5, take, take. e7. Though is this weakness. Say rook e4. Doesn't look like it is the end of the world to me. But then again, who knows? e5, king g7, yes. Playing quite quickly. Getting the king away. And now maybe d5, why not? Take, take. Say rook b6. But now our pawn just goes. And with this tactical detail, we just probably end up being better. d4, something like that. This is a disaster. I don't know, d5 looks like the move, and she's done it. And she's done it. And I do not mind the white position. Say like this. It is true that once you block the position like that, for example, keeping the white piece is a bit passive, which I'm not forced to do. I can go something like rook c1 and try to end up here. Well, by the way, I'm probably better with white. d5, queen d5, and now black has to choose what to do. So we're saying rook e7, rook e4, queen f5, and instead of being passive, we go rook c1. There's h5, black maybe does. Try rook c8, but rook e5, and this is hanging maybe. Oh, there's always this line. Take b7, g4. We have problems with g3 here. I don't know. Equal. Rook c7, maybe trying to activate, I don't know. Maybe even rook c1. Saying no thank you. Queen g8 after rook takes c5. You mean somewhere here. You are right. You are right. Queen g8 is strong here. Oh, some piece to g8 is strong. Queen g8 is good, yes. You are very right. Rook e7, alright. Rook e4. Good spot to odds Cooper, by the way. Very good spot. Queen g8. Rook e4. I imagine is a move, I don't know. Maybe it's not the best move. Seems natural to me to just calmly double or still consolidate. Let's say queen e8. Let's try and get the queen out with rook d7. Maybe this is more sensible. And let's try and stop that. Like this. And a6 is hanging, so... Okay, this can end in a draw nearly immediately if you want. Now queen f1 is still available for Adriana, so this is not a draw. Okay, of course black will not take the pawn yet. Maybe black will try something like queen c6 or... yeah. So I don't know. Rook e7. Rook e4 played by Adriana, yes. Looks like it is a normal move. And black needs to choose what to do. What would you play if you were black in this position? What would you play? Is the question. I might be leaning towards queen e8 with black, but I don't know. Say rook d1. Should I even go queen c6? And maybe in this endgame I can cook with black. Queen c6 you probably don't exchange queens. So yeah, G 1975, you're going queen e8 with black, fair enough. Any other options we are missing maybe? Okay, h5 is an option, but again. Complex position. As was said by War Pizzero. Rods Cooper, you say queen f5 is also natural. This is true. This is very true, you attack e5, but maybe it's a little less mobile than queen e8. Yeah, maybe even just rook e1. Although I'm not the biggest fan of this relatively passive strategy. I would maybe try rook here, as I was saying. Because if you take, we saw quite a few lines here. Queen b7 is possible. Rook c7 is possible. We are more than fine, I think, here with white. And if you take the queen, it was what we were saying with this endgame, where we should be fine with the active rook and even maybe slightly better with white. You never know. Could queen f5 be met by g4? This is also another question. I'm not sure you want to create a passed pawn for me. that easily. Maybe I'll just go back and might be relatively happy. Of course I cannot take with en passant because my queen will be hanging. But I am afraid you might be just creating a passed pawn for me. Because you made one nice move, but then what are you doing? Queen f5 by black. Interesting. I would like to see rook c1 or something. Even rook e1 is fine. Rook c1 stops activation though. And tries to activate ourselves if we get the chance. Rook e1 also completely fine. I think probably rook c7 will be played, but not even sure about that. Maybe some consolidating move like queen f7. So let us see what Adriana plays. It is not at all Korea who is better here actually. Might well be white who is better. Passed pawn. I'll tell you what, if we exchange queens, black is probably doing well. And that I will tell you, because then the king can come and attack this pawn. Now the king cannot come and attack that pawn because it would be checkmated in the middle. But if we take off the queens, say something like that, ignore my... See, just something very stupid like this, black could find a third attacker. Of course, those moves were just to show you a concept. 9 against 7 minutes. 9 against 7. Can Adriana keep fighting as well as she's done so far? Also, rook e1. We have not taken into account f3. This could be very annoying. This could be a problem. Probably rook f e1 is the only move here. I'm not sure. Just thinking about c1. You mean f3, rook f1 might be forced. Yes, I might also be good. But rook e5, rook e5. We are still fine. Rook e5, queen b7. White is doing okay, I would say. Don't even know how to block the check, so. And queen takes. And we play this very equal rook endgame. So okay, f3, rook f1. Good spot. And white might be even more than fine. Time is going down. So maybe rook e1 or rook c1. These are the options. Rook e1. Okay. Best move is a4. I see. Not the easiest to find a4. She played rook fe1. h5. Yeah. Why is it not updating the page? Okay, f1. h5, yes. Preparing this g4 business. Queen d1. You think? Interesting move. Let's say you go g4. I don't know. Queen d2 or something. If I take and take, I'm not feeling this very well here. Queen d2, because f3 is possible. Also taking on e5 is possible here. This risks being trouble. Okay, but something has been played. Queen d1, has it been played? No, not yet. Queen d1, I don't know. So you mean take, take? Queen d4 maybe? Rook f7. Maybe like this you are doing well. Maybe queen d4 is a good move. Audience gambit. What does that mean, audience gambit? Queen d1, g4, take, take, queen d4. Not easy to find everything, but here you are doing well though. So queen d1, no g4. Queen d4 played. Okay, just trying to stop g4. Ah, I see, they were removed from the camera. There was a person, I see. I didn't do anything, but yes, somebody might have thought about it. We will find out later. Okay, so we are in the most interesting part of the game. Queen d4 played. Eight to 4 minutes. This is could be significant. Still queen d1, but it is black's turn. Not easy to see all these backwards moves. And if I can ask you, HXNCUS, what's the evaluation of a computer? A blitz ending, yeah, might be a blitz ending, exactly. We get 30 seconds by move, but you know, you're blitzing an ending against a nearly 2400 player, so it is a job. It is a job. Okay, it's equal. Equal position. Queen d4 stops. g4, of course. What's my elo? My elo HXNCUS is 2100. I see. Okay, then we will see, but with low time and G4 is happening. Of course, you can stop G4 with this, and you're always stopping it. If black goes F3, you go rook F1 again, and you are still okay. And other than that, there are not many ideas. Can you teach me chess? Well, I do give lessons. If you want, I do this. You can find me on my Instagram account. It is Samuel Toniolo. If you're interested, you can also write to me on Twitch. F3. What happens on rook F1? Rook E5? Wait a minute, why did he... no, if I give private lessons, I ask for payment, of course. Otherwise, you can follow my channel, and I do some educational content for free, of course. But if you do want private lessons for like 1 hour or 2 hours, I do make people pay for that. Rook F1. Where is the trick? G4? No. Did black blunder? Is the question here. I feel like black may have well blundered. I don't see it, honestly. I don't see it. There's only one move for black. Is it this? This? Ah, wait, rook E5 though. It must be rook E5. Rook E5, queen E5. And here. Okay. I imagine it's rook E5, it must be. Yeah. Rook E5, rook E5. Queen E5. Or rook E5, or queen E5, of course. Rook takes makes no sense. Can take on F3, but you can do many things. You're pinned. So queen takes E5, we're going to play a rook endgame, which is very, very equal. I mean, we shouldn't be losing this. Okay, we shouldn't be losing this with white. But is black even going to try? Or is black going to give up and offer a draw immediately? So rook E2, we can go rook F2. Okay, rook B5. Okay, black is going to try. Might go rook F2. Rook B3, you never know. B3 maybe. Here we have a choice. Okay. And what? Okay, king G6. If we go king F1, rook F5. This is king slightly more active. This is not the best fun. You can calculate these endgames, but it's not always that much fun. So maybe I will just go rook D2 or something, and then try to get my king. I'm lazy thinking about these end games, pawn end games, and It's always a big risk to go into a pawn ending. Yeah. Let us see. Maybe just move like rook d2 exact. Something like this. King is a bit active though. Maybe I can just... I'm not that comfortable with white again, actually. Maybe rook e2. Try and stop the king from actually entering. How bad can this be, you say, but it's never sure. The king is slightly more advanced. So still you choose black. Even if it's a minimal advantage. Ooh. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe here it was worth... being b3, rook a5, a4. Being b3 in general, maybe it's keeping the rook slightly more active. Rook d5 though was possible. I don't know, these endings are tough. King g6 and what? We have 2 minutes. Rook d2. Okay. Maybe the pawn endgame was just a draw, but it's not. That easy to show. Okay, now black will probably go king f5 and try to get the king active. Or maybe like this though. Take. Black is nice and compact. Sorry, white is nice and compact, and that still slightly more active king. Maybe g4. Try to open another line for the rook. Who knows? Okay, rook d2 seems good though. Put the king on e2 and let them show what they have. King f5, king f2. Okay. Being played. Still, you know, if you were asking which side you choose, I might just choose black with the active king. Which is quite important. I think king e2. Now h4 or g4. Say g4. Take. I don't know. Rook c2 maybe. No, this is bad. Maybe not g4. King 4, king e2 played, okay. Should be able to defend this endgame, but it's still slightly annoying, this active king. But we should be able to defend, I think. Nearly 4 hours into the game. White has played a very good game so far. So maybe g4 is too direct a way to try for an advantage. Is king f4 worth anything? King f2. I don't know. g4, rook c2 we said. Rook b4 maybe. c5, no, there's rook b2. Say something like this happens, should still be okay maybe. Now there's rook d3. Yeah. It's okay, no b3, so just take. Yeah, g4. Still questions being asked. Still questions being asked, my friends. Not so easy for Adriana to get out of her troubles. More active king and slightly more active rook with white. So, okay, HG done. And what do we play now? Do we play g3 or do we not play g3? This is one of the questions. To play or not to play g3. There's also a line like this. Just an example. Rook f5, trying to go for rook f3. And if you go rook d3, I go rook f2, king takes. And I might just win this endgame because I'm closer to your pawns. You have 2 king f4. Okay, but now maybe rook d4 should be fine. Now we should be out of most of the problems. King g5, and now we just go b3 or something. Or maybe king g3 here. What happens after king g3? Wait a minute. That should be okay for black, I guess. Okay, this is not that clear. King f5, okay. Maybe just something like b3. Got the king out. There are some checkmating ideas. Maybe, but not clear. Too many moves I made. Black is thinking. I wonder whether there was a draw offer by Adriana or not. King g5 of all moves. Now this really makes me wonder whether king g3 is not just Quite a quick draw. There you are. King g3, take, check, rook f2. Outside passed pawn, you can't take probably. And we're just equal pawns. Go king g3, okay, rook b2, played. I think we should be seeing the draw here. Good, very good job, I would say. We should be seeing the draw. I don't really see a way out for white, honestly, after check and rook f2. She went rook a4. No, sorry, not this. Rook a4 is also fine, I guess. It's also okay. Yeah. Maybe I have a passed pawn. I should be trying to win after king f3 here, if it's my turn. I don't know. This looks very much harmless. Only problem is if a king comes to b5, then so no, I don't know. You will go something like this, this, this. And here you risk, but this is queen with check. So this would be anyway. I know this would be a win for Adriana, of course. But let's see, king e5, king f3, king e5, king d3. King d3, king b5, king f3, king b4. Yeah, this is not the way to win. b5, no, it's obviously too slow. Or is it? 5. Okay, now g5. So king c2 might just draw here, but there you go. g6, a2, g7. Queen, this is just a draw. I don't find many ways for black to try. She's flipped the clock, yes. Even, I mean, this position, the clock is not that important. It's quite simple. Rook d2. I see. Maybe going for rook d6, b5. Adriana moving quickly, king f3. not clear what opponent wants to do. Rook d3. He might just agree to a draw like this. Could very well be a draw, this position. I mean, it is a draw for sure, but it could end in a draw immediately. Obviously, the evaluation is equal. Okay, rook d6, trying for b5. Maybe now just liberate the rook somehow. b5, a4. And what can ever happen here? What can ever go wrong? I would say. Okay, she's thinking. Say rook b4, b6. This just king f3. Okay, king f3 also fine. And now b5 is met with rook a5. No, this is not right. Okay, need to be a bit careful, but I believe she shouldn't be losing this endgame. b5. Alright. Could even give a check if I wanted. Okay, 5. King e5, yeah. Now maybe even just king e3. Or maybe a4. b6. AB. King e3. b4. Okay. Maybe rook a2 is still okay, but maybe we didn't have to get into this trouble. Actually, this is not okay. So, okay, still need to be slightly careful. Maybe a4 is not the best. I don't know. Let's see. a4. AB. See g4, so no wasting time. Oi. And we risk losing in some scenario like this. Okay, g4. Better not to create the passed pawn, probably. Probably still a draw way forward. Always is. If a4, probably b4. No, it's just that b4 is not possible because you're pinned. g4, okay. Pushing the pawn. And also asking what you do. King d4 maybe. Rook is slightly better placed actually. What's happening on king d4? Need to go rook a3 to get your rook back into the game. I go b4. You go rook a5 again. I go king c3. King b2 and get nothing though. Right. Rook d3 check. Trying to confuse her. Don't think you will be accepting a draw just yet. King e2. Does not confuse anyone. Rook d6 again, I imagine. Yeah, threatening king f4. You need to go king f3 again. Oh, and they accepted, they agreed to a draw. Fair enough. I'm not sure I would have taken a draw with black. Just because I can try king d4 here. Okay, it's always a draw. To go rook a3. b4. Rook a5, yes. Yes. Yes, nothing much to be done. Good job, everyone. And as you can see, she clocked out. So I will also close the stream. Thank you very much for all your support. See you next time. Oh no, actually, wait. She's joining, okay. She is joining. So if you want to hear Adriana's thoughts, be ready. Be ready because she'll join. Let's tell her. She'll be arriving in minutes. Going over the game, I really liked this e4 idea. This was very important to get out of the pressure. This was, I think, the key moment. I think. What does the computer think about it? Yeah. I don't know if it's the only move, but it felt like it was a very important moment. Let us see. Let us see if it was as important as we thought it should be. Okay. Queen h6, queen d3, queen d2. Nice idea, this. e4. Take. Do not run away yet, as Adriana will be coming soon. Yeah. So okay, we ended up here where really it felt like white had some pressure, and it is true if you don't go g4.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Let's see if they can hear you. Can you hear Adriana in the chat? I can. I can't see you though, but I can hear you. I don't know if you can manage to put up on the camera. Maybe it's a problem. Oh, I have my microphone off. I have my microphone off. Yes, we can hear you.
Great.
I think.
Hold on, I'll go to another.
Chat is not super sure, but I can hear you. So I think you should be able to hear you, but we can't see you, as I was saying.
Can you ask?
Yeah, I asked. Now yes.
Perfect.
Now yes.
I'll turn on my video 1 second. I'm going to another room. Oh my god, I'm so tired.
Yes. It is a tough game, wasn't it?
Yeah. So hard.
Yeah, because even at the end, it felt like he had some small pressure, which was you still had to be precise.
Yeah. How was the game? Were there like many mistakes or?
Well, I felt like you played quite well. What were your impressions? We have the board. If you want, we can share it with your fans, with our fans.
No, I think that I did pretty good. Like I felt comfortable, and in all moments, like I was able to see like all the risks, probably last minute before moving. So
Fair enough.
Like, I didn't hang anything like in I think very critical moments. But it happened that many times I had like many ideas, and I of course just chose one. But maybe in those moments there was something better. I don't know. So, yeah.
Yes. I mean, actually, what can I say? Maybe knight a4 and back was slightly a waste of time. Why did you play knight a4? What was your idea?
My idea was knight d7, like 3 knights.
Okay.
Pick his knight out and then move my knight to c5. Like knight takes knight f3 and knight c5, but I missed knight takes bishop takes and bishop d6. I missed that it was so like that strong because he gets a very comfortable position after that, isn't it?
Yes, actually this is a critical moment. I think f4 is quite important here instead of bishop d6.
I thought about it, but I wasn't comfortable with it.
Because you thought he might take, or what?
F4, yeah. Also, like I didn't want to leave the dark squares on the king side. Regardless, there wasn't anything. I just wasn't sure, so I decided not to.
Fair enough. Yes, fair enough. Understandable. Otherwise, bishop d6, queen d6, knight c3. You did well to go back. Queen e7, knight e2. Interesting. Queen h4. Maybe knight f4 here. Yeah. maybe you just need to try and go for your b4, b5 plan. Because when you went knight f4, g5, knight e6, rook e6, bishop e4, this more or less forced sequence, it feels like he's just slightly better, no?
Yeah.
After rook takes e4, you have to be precise. Then you find a very, very nice resource, I think. All the chat and all of us were very, very surprised we hadn't seen this, which is f3, queen h6, queen d3, queen a3, and e4. That's wonderful.
Was it good?
I think it is, yes. Computer still stays around 0, but I think it's very important psychologically to change the position instead of just having to stay passive. Now you have this activity and you can free yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
That was a very nice moment, I think. e4, very precise. And then for the rest of the game, I think you just played well.
Okay. How was the people there?
Pardon?
How was the audience today?
I think we had fun. They participated quite a bit. They gave their ideas. We talked about a few other things.
Nice.
They were very confident in you getting a draw. That for sure.
I just requested for a bye in the afternoon because I'm not going to be able to play.
Fair enough, yes. It depends on you. If you feel like you're playing well, but also keeping your energy is important.
Yeah. Thank you, Samuel. So you gave me luck today.
Hopefully yes, and hopefully you will keep on being lucky as well.
I wanna go to Twitch for a second. I wanna read comments.
Yes, you have a bit of chat there.
Let me see. Here you are. Oh, there's like many people here. Nice. Okay, Samuel, so I'm gonna go and have some rest.
Yeah.
You too. Thank you for staying for hours.
Thank you.
That wasn't intentional.
Nah, it's alright. When you have a big game, it's important to give your best.
Yeah.
Take your time and all that. Right.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.